Hello everybody, this is week 10 for HOA. We are going to go through and talk a little bit about our second week here in distance learning and what we're going to be working on. That's going to be a little bit different. Hopefully you're watching this before Wednesday so that you have an understanding of what I want you to do when you come in class. So one of the things that we're going to do is kind of a lecture assignment. We did similar things to this last week when we did the Save the Last Dance discussion. The only thing different is that this won't be much of a discussion. It'll be more of a guided by me note-taking session. And so basically there is going to be a lecture that will be given, and there's actually a link here to the actual YouTube lecture that I have. So if you do miss this in class, like I said, if you couldn't make it, there is a YouTube video of this, and you can go back and watch it and do your notes that way. But obviously I'm much better live. So when you come there, I will have an actually different presentation. It's very similar to what you're watching. So we'll be doing it live in class. There's a little kind of formative assignment that goes along with my presentation. But ultimately at the end, you'll just have that submitted. So it's one of those things like if you want to go and take notes on your own, you can. I would hope that most of you show up and go through the process, because then you'll just be done and the assignment will be over. So it'll be a little bit quicker for you. So what we're going to be looking at is the wars of liberation. So in the last couple of weeks, we looked at a lot of these ideas of kind of the reasoning behind why people followed these leaders into the U.S. Revolution. And so now we're going to look at kind of the specific breakdown of how some of this fighting and these wars happened in South America. And in a lot of cases, it was very separated by geography, which caused a lot of those differences. And so when we looked at like the U.S. and talking about how the North and the South fighting was so uniquely different, and the fact that they managed to come together and fight led to this more unified idea of independence. Well, in South America, that issue is something that's very different. And so we'll talk a little bit about that in the lecture notes. And then one of the reasons why I really would like you to be there Wednesday for that presentation is that I will be assigning you a part of this reading to answer these questions. And so if you do not get that on Wednesday, then you will need to make sure to check in with me to figure out which part of the reading you need to do. And then both days, we're going to kind of briefly go over what you need to do for this assignment. This is a formative assignment again, and it's basically kind of a continuation of those of you that did the 4 summative a couple weeks ago in week 6. I'll get into a little bit more detail about this, but basically if you did the 4 assignment, you need to go through and do some research here about a war that was linked to your country of independence. And so we're kind of adding another level, another layer of onions to this bloomin' onion of the idea of the century of wars web that happens in South America. So again, this week is going to be kind of important that you check into the Google Meets, because a lot of these things I'm going to be kind of assigning and kind of focusing on what you should work on. And if you don't remember, which country you did your summative on a few weeks ago, and these don't match up and you kind of pick your own, it's not going to work right for what will eventually be the last summative for this unit. So again, if you have any questions, you can always email or send me a message through Schoology, but please make sure that you're here on Wednesday and Thursday for our discussion. That will make it much easier for you to get through this process, which will then take us into week 11, which will be a summative for this unit. And you need to basically have it. So if anybody didn't do the 4, and I think there's only a handful of you in week 6 when you looked at a specific country's independence in South America, you'll need to very much kind of be guided as to which one to show, because you haven't really done the pre-research of that country's independence. All right, so that's it. We'll see you on Wednesday.